Well, happy Father's Day. On today's show, I welcome Jason Patrick Meyers. He became a brand new father just as the stay-at-home orders were put into place. Welcome to Charlie's Open Mic, a songwriter showcase featuring interviews, performances, and more. Welcome to Charlie's Open Mic. My name is Charlie Mossbrook. On today's program, I welcome Jason Patrick Meyers. He's a local songwriter, radio host, organizer, does just about anything you can imagine in the music industry. Just as the pandemic started to get out of control and we were ordered to stay at home, Jason became a brand new father. I wanted to talk to him about that experience and everything else he does in our community. Before we get to that, let's go listen to his music.
Baby can't wait. Well, mama is so scared. Wasn't supposed to be like this. We thought we were so prepared, but baby can't wait. Daddy is so scared. I can only hold your hand as the nurses rush to your wheelchair. Baby can't wait to paint you a picture for Mother's Day. Baby can't wait to scream strike three with me at the game. Baby can't wait for cotton candy at the 4th of July parade. Baby can't wait to say, Mom and Dad, don't worry, you did a great job today. You can't wait go to the grocery store, but life is different now, so much different than before. You can't wait for your family to say we'll be over soon. Is there anything that you need? Baby can't wait to paint you a picture for Mother's Day. Baby can't wait to scream strike three with me at the game. Baby can't wait for cotton candy at the 4th of July parade. Baby can't wait to say, Mom and Dad, don't worry, you did a great job today. Can you believe that there's no water in the swimming pool? Can you believe there are no playgrounds open at schools? Well, I believe that one day soon, baby, we'll look at you and say, I painted you a picture for this Father's Day. I love scream strike three with you at the game. Can I have some cotton candy at today's parade? Mom and Dad, don't worry, 'cause baby can't wait.
Today we have Jason Meyers joining us. Trying to summarize everything Jason does would take me about 50 minutes. Last year he coordinated the Heights Music Hop. He hosts a radio show on WJCU every Monday night. You coordinate music for university hospitals. You work with Roots of American Music and music education. And you have your own career as a singer-songwriter, and there's so much more I could go on with, but that's a lot right there. Anyway, so this is Jason Patrick Meyers. Please welcome him to the show. Hey, Jason, how are you?
Hey, Charlie. You're making me sound like a busy guy.
You are a busy guy. Well, you were. I assume you're still doing the radio show, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We actually I went in for the first time 2 weeks ago, and it felt great. And I'm able to walk there, so I live about 0.8 of a mile away from John Carroll University, so I can walk right down Belvoir, and it felt so great to actually be in studio. We were doing it remotely the 3 months prior, but it feels good to be back for sure.
Well, I assume you skipped right when the whole thing started. You probably were rerunning shows.
Yeah, well, we actually Eric Simna, the founder of NEORocks, he has a studio at home. So what he would do, he would patch me in through Facebook message or through what do you call it, the phone application for Facebook, and we were able to use my that to get my voice in there and to actually run a real show while he was at home. And we're still getting new music in. People are still emailing us, musicians still sending us their info and their music. So we're still able to keep it going every week with fresh content.
Eric's creative in his ability to make things work technically, isn't he?
He's so great. I always say he's the technology. I try to be the personality, and then we meet in the middle. I remember I was at Dewey's Pizza on my birthday because I always take the day off, and I was eating some pizza and by myself, had a beer, had my pizza. It was like 2 PM. It was great, and I was looking at this high chair that was in front of me, and I was thinking, "Aw, in a couple months, my wife is going to deliver, and or in a month and a half, my wife will deliver our first child." Little did I know that 5 days later, on February 15th, that Taylor would be here.
That's amazing. Congratulations on that. That's a great thing.
Thanks, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And how have you handled all that with the virus and the pandemic?
The first thing I want to say is it's a blessing to have this much time with her. It's amazing. Like my wife and I today were talking about daycare and what we're going to do because she's back at work now for the last 4.5 weeks. And I don't know when I'm going back. You said I work for university hospitals in the music therapy, expressive therapy department. So I can do a lot of work from home. Like I'm working on payroll right now and doing all that, but I can't really program anything. But no, it's been a blessing to spend so much time with her. But it's also been a challenge with my own mental health, I would say. Just trying to figure out, I have to make sure that, like when you're in a work setting, you know that you're sitting too long when you want to stand up and walk around. When you're at home, and I've been watching Taylor for the last 4.5, 5 weeks, while also juggling my 2 jobs, it makes it difficult, and I really have to put notes in my phone, put notes on, paper. Hey, at this time, get up, walk around. You need to go take a walk outside. There was a string of 4 days, I think, where I didn't go outside, and I was feeling really down. And it just hit me like, wow, you need to make sure that you're on top of this, because otherwise this will just suck you up.
Yeah, winter in a wheelchair can be like that quite a bit.
Yeah.
So you also coordinate Heights Music Hop each year. Last year was a weird one because we had a giant power outage, and you tell me a little bit about that and how that worked out.
Wow, weird is a understatement. So it's put on by Future Heights, and Eric Simon and I helped coordinate it, put the bands together and all that. Thank God it worked out, and thank God nobody was hurt during that storm, and we were still able to continue. So real quick, I'll tell you where I was at during the storm. I was at the Fairmount, showing Eric the radar on my phone. Just about 20 minutes prior, he said, I think it should be all right. And I showed him this line of storms coming over I think it was coming over the lake, if I remember right. I said, no, man, we've got to shut down the Fairmount. We have to go. And he's like, okay, let's figure this out. Then the lightning started coming. Now at the Fairmount, the music was outside. Kiss Me Deadly was playing outside under the tent, and the wind started picking up. And before we knew it, the lights went out, and there were 3 tabletop umbrellas coming at my head. And I'm like, oh, what the? And there was glass breaking. It all happened in slow motion. This one table missed me by inches, I swear. At this point, the band was starting to pack up, but we were all kind of hovered together towards the back of the tent. And so there were all the tables knocked over, that big rush of wind that came through, that microburst. And thank God nobody was hurt. In fact, Eric helped coordinate the cleanup outside, and he told me, hey, go inside, get AJ in the Woods playing. I said, okay, this will be cool. So we went inside. There's no power, everybody's got their phone out or whatever, and AJ in the Woods played a half-an-hour set in the dark. And it was actually, I think, on the front page of the Heights Observer for that month. But it was crazy, and thank God, like I said, nobody was hurt. Surveying the damage the next day, we were on Lee Road, which is our main drag because we have so many businesses there. And I was out at 8 a.m, you know, trying to drive around Cleveland Heights, assessing like, what can we do? Can we still have this thing going on?
Mhm.
And even though there were several businesses without power, we were still able to give it a go. And the bands were super helpful. I think we only had to cancel 2 bands, maybe 3.
That's
Um,
impressive.
so yeah, it was still able to go through.
I remember watching that storm come up Cedar Hill, and we were in the bookstore watching whoever played after me, and it looked like the cars that were parked in front of the store were doing 50 miles per hour through a rain. I mean,
Yes,
that's really what it looked
yeah,
like. It was just incredible to watch. And then
it's crazy. And the thing that I'm always going to take away from that night, um, towards the end of it, it was still raining in sheets, but that microburst went through. I said, screw it, I'm going to have a shot and a beer at Parnell's. So I did that, and I was with Ann Coslow, and who was helping to coordinate the event. And we're standing there in the pouring rain, right outside of the door at Parnell's, and we're like, we've got to get back to the Fairmount. And she's like, screw it, we're running. And I'm like, what? And we literally ran across that where Fairmount and Cedar, all the intersections come together in
Mhm.
that pouring rain, and we did not get hit by a car, which is amazing. So I'm just so lucky with that as well. But that's a memory I'm always going to have, just running for my life while this rain is pouring down, and I just had a Guinness, and I'm feeling all right.
What is the status on the Heights Music Hop for this coming fall?
I don't know how much I can say on it. All I know is that we've been trying to be creative and think of some ideas of what to do. But given the current circumstances, it's very difficult to imagine right now how we're going to do it. But I guarantee you that Eric and I, we've had hours of conversation and just throwing things against the wall. Like, what about this? What about this?
Mhm.
So we're trying to come up with some creative solutions, but there's nothing for sure right now.
Tell us about your songwriting a little bit. Your last album, was that all original stuff?
It was, and it seems like so long ago. I think it was what, December 2016 is when I released my
Was it
last
that long
album.
ago?
You
Wow.
know, and it's you know how it is, Charlie. It's like I I think you and I were talking about, just, you know, you go through waves of inspiration, right? Like you can't just make it happen. And
Mhm.
I went through a really rough wave where it was just like, not that I wasn't inspired, I just didn't find anything I was thinking of really worth putting pen to paper, you know, where I felt like I reached a point where I was like, okay, but I've already done that, and I don't want to do that again, you know? And of course, like you mentioned, I mean, Taylor was born February 15th. She was 6 weeks early.
Mhm.
So I had plenty of time while sitting in the NICU. We were in there for 17 days, in the neonatal intensive care unit. And I wrote a song called NICU, NICU. I started to write it while I was actually sitting next to her, but since then I've written a couple other songs. And I was talking to a coworker the other day. She said, Jason, I really like your new songs. And I said, I appreciate that, but I need you to go to my SoundCloud and Spotify, because I swear I don't write songs just about babies. I swear I write on other topics as well. But you know, the inspiration has been coming, and you know, I've been able to write some more tunes. You know, this year, especially inspired by Taylor and everything that's going on. And you know, Mindy and I always joke about, my wife, and I always joke about 12 years from now, when she can understand, when Taylor can understand kind of the circumstances, and she's going to look at us and go, why the hell did you bring me into this world right now? Like, a
Right.
pandemic, we've got, I mean, I don't want to get into political things, but you know, there's a lot going on right now, and
She's got a lot
I
to work on in the future for us.
I think that's a future song, because I cannot wait to admit, I just can't wait for that conversation with her.
Well, you know, it's great to have that perspective right now. I mean, so many of us are dealing with life and death matters, whether it's, you know, whether it's the way people are treated by the police, you
Mm.
know, Black Lives Matter, or the life and death situation with the pandemic. Uh, you know, there's a lot of death that we're talking about these days. So having a perspective about a new life is really kind of a beautiful blessing for you.
No, it is, and I think it helps to, you know, I mentioned my mental health earlier. It helps that I work in a therapy department, and I
Hmm.
tell people this all the time. I'm not a therapist. I'm the program coordinator for the therapy department. But like, we had a Zoom call earlier every Friday at 12 o'clock. Our department, there's 16 of us, I believe. art therapy and music therapy, we have a Zoom call just to check in. Hey, how you doing? What'd you do this week? Give me one work related item, one personal item, and we just check in. And I think that's so helpful, and I've been trying to do that too with friends. I don't know if you do the same thing, but every week I try to call somebody new and just say, hey man, how are you? What's going on?
Yeah, the show's been helpful for that. Okay, so speaking of songwriting, you are involved, however, everything is probably in hiatus right now, with a program with Roots of American Music called Stop the Hate.
Yes.
And we talked to Bethany Joy about this, I think, a little bit. And you've really been involved with that from the beginning?
They've been doing it for, I want to say 11 years now. And I joined Rome, Roots of American Music, in 2016. So I've had 4 years of experience with Stop the Hate. And we take several high schools and middle schools across the Cleveland area, Northeast Ohio area. And each teaching artist is usually assigned to one school. And there'll be 3 different classes maybe per school. And what we do as a teaching artist, we will go to the Maltz Museum of Jewish Heritage, meet with the class, and then take the tour through the museum. And then usually the next day or maybe the next week, we'll have class number 1, where we go in and we talk about their experience. What did they see at the museum? What surprised them? What did they not know about? What did they learn? And we start the conversation about hate in America and really everywhere. And from there, we try to dissect, okay, we can make this song. A lot of kids like to talk about the Second World War, the Holocaust. But what I try to do is bring it back to what's in your neighborhood. What do you see here? What do you see in the school? Let's talk about bullying. Let's talk about something that matters to you right now. And so over the course of 3 classes, we write this song. The kids write all the lyrics. Of course, I have to kind of arrange them sometimes and put them so they make sense, but I'll write the melody on guitar or whatever instrument. And then on the 4th class, we record it. Brian Straw does an amazing job, comes in, records, gets the kids under control, which is usually the toughest part sometimes. And then the 5th class, we coordinate dance moves. And Charlie, I don't know if you've ever seen me dance. If you have, I apologize because I cannot do it at all. And it's usually a hot mess, but I try to, coordinate with the kids, how are we going to hold our signs? And then we perform at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they get the chance to go on stage and play their 3-minute song and sing. And what's most interesting to me is I'm really curious how this is going to be like 10 years from now. Now that I've seen all these kids and we're continuing to work with Stop the Hate, I'm waiting for that day for somebody to see me in the street and be like, hey, Mr. Jason, do you remember back in 2016? And I'm just really curious to see, especially in this day and age, how this is going to affect kids' minds, really. It's funny, I was watching Dave Chappelle, his new stand-up, 846, I believe.
I watched that, yeah.
And one of the things he mentioned is that, and it helped put things in perspective for me too, because I'm 39 years old, right? So I still think of myself as, 20-something-year-old, you forget how old you are. But one of the things that Chappelle mentioned was that, there was a call for celebrities to speak out about everything that's going on right now. And he said, hell no, we're not the movement right now. These young adults are the movement. He's like, they're the ones driving the bus right now. And it's so true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I watched Don Lemon's response to that, who was the media member that Chappelle was calling out, and Don Lemon was right there with him. He said, I completely agree with him, and I'm glad that he called me out.
Yeah, I saw that too, and that was really refreshing. And I think everybody needs to kind of, take a step back and say, okay, where is my place in this right now? Like reality check time right now, really.
Hey, if you appreciate this content, please hit the subscription button down below. Please ring the bell for notifications, and please visit us at charliesopenmic.com, where you can find our Patreon link and help to support the show.
Though often overlooked, she thought that this time she'd get the dance. Like the laundry on the line, she swayed as she waited for her chance. And up among the stars, she thought that this would be her chance to shine as bright as she.
had ever shown. Up among the like a billion points of light, some are dim and some burn bright, far away across the Milky Way. Burn on forever, so it seems, and some are flashes in our dreams, fade away while we are just getting started. And up among the stars, we hope that we would be spinning aloft forever. Together we are up among the like a billion points of light, some are dim and some burn bright, far away across the Milky Way. Burn on forever, so it seems, and some are flashes in our dreams, fade away while we are just getting started. She built her dreams up to believe that the scene inside her mind was true. So much so that she did not need someone to see her through. And up among the stars, across the galaxy, she left this world behind her, never to return. From up among the like a billion points of light, some are dim and some burn bright, far away across the Milky Way. Burn on forever, so it seems, and some are flashes in our dreams, fade away while we are just getting started. Hey, thank you for watching Charlie's Open Mic this week, and thank you to Jason Patrick Meyers for sharing your story and your music. As always, you can hit that subscription button down below. Please ring the bell for notifications, comment, and like the episode. That helps us to spread this music to so many more people. Please visit us at charliesopenmic.com. You can find our Patreon link there and help to support the show. Thanks.